Fine. So we're starting the Mishnah. And I said the Mishnah is going to say a whole bunch of cases, but it's really a certain klal. We always have the question, it could have been said much more concise, much shorter. And the klal goes as follows. If someone, we're going to call the nizik, has a shore that was damaged by someone else's shore. In other words, Ruvain's ox hit Shimon's ox. So Shimon goes and he's toveah from Ruvain and he wants the money back. But let's say he isn't sure that it's Shimon's ox who actually hit him. Either maybe it just, that he finds his ox comes home and it's bruised. So it could be that it just fell down the steps. It could be that Shimon's ox hit him. So he won't be able to get any money from Shimon because that's called Hamoitzi Mechaveroi Alav Araya. If you're trying to get from someone money, so then you can only take it from him if you're sure, if you could bring a proof that he's taka the one who was mazik to you. And the same thing goes, let's say someone, Mr. Nizik, let's say Ruvain, he knows for sure that his ox was beaten up. He went to the park and he came back bruised up, and he could see someone's fist marks. So for sure, someone beat him up, but he doesn't know which shirt. There was a whole bunch of shvarim over there in the park, and he doesn't know if it was Shimon's shirt beat him up, if it was Levi's shirt, if it was Yehuda's. So he can't take any money because Shimon will say, "Hey, it's not me, it's the other guy. It's not me, it's the other guy." And you can't take them all together and say, okay, you guys give me, because everyone will say, what do you want? We're not wanting you guys. I don't have to pay you. The next person doesn't have to pay you. And that's always called Amoitzi Mechaveri Olav Haraya. The only other case will be if, let's say, he goes to the park, Reuven's sure goes to the park and he comes back all bruised up, and all the shvarim which were there were all Shimon's. So even if he doesn't know which one, I can't tell you for sure if it was this shore or that shore, but I know that it's for sure your shore. So then he would want to get the money. That's the simple understanding. Soon we're going to see that even that case is not so simple, because we know that a short time is mishalim migufa, right? It's not just that Shimon owes Ruvain money. If he would just owe him money, so I don't care which shore of yours beat me up, I want to get my money. So then he was for sure be able to get the money. But if it's like that, he gets it from the shore itself, maybe he's able to say, oh, well, you can't take this one, you can't take that one. Maybe we'll get to that. But that's basically what's called a Moitim Chaveya all over. But if he knows that if it was one person, so then he could get it from him. So that's how the Mishnah starts. And then the Mishnah will go into other cases, like more complicated, but different cases of Moitim Chaveya all over. Let's say his shore went to the park and comes back bruised up, and all the shvarim over there were all Shimon. So he knows for sure it's Shimon's shore. But Shimon over there has a shore tam, which only pays Chatzin Nezek, and also a shore muad. Now, which one was the one who started up? So again, he's only going to be able to get Chatzin Nezek because, again, the same idea of Hamutzi Mechaver Olav Haraya. And Be'etzem, that's the whole klal of the Mishnah. And the Mishnah says it in about 4 or 5 different cases. And the Gemara, of course, will take it apart. So here we go. Sure, so it's interesting. So the Gemara says, Shor shoyeroide fachashor acher. There was a shor that was chasing after another shor, right? V'huzak. And the nirdaf, the guy who was running away, ends up that he was bruised. Now, we're not sure but whether he taka got bruised because the shor which was running after him caught him and they gave him a bruise, or maybe as he was running, or samaze, he fell down. Ze oimer shor chahizik. The nitva, which means the nizik, the one whose shor now got manged up, so he comes and he says, hey, you remember your shor was running after my shor? Well, here you go. It was now mazik my shor chahizik, and I want you to pay me. Ze oimer Loiki. Usually we used to read loy ki loka, but in the pasuk by Shlomo Melech it says loiki in the time. It's lochein, not like that. Elabasela loka. It got hurt in the sela, meaning your shor was talking huzak and my shor was running, but my shor didn't do anything. Your shor just fell down by itself, and I do not have to pay you. So again, Reuven's shor got hurt. We know for sure that Shimon's shor at some time was chasing it, but we don't know now if it was Shimon's shor that hurt it or just got hurt by itself. So the halacha is, this is the first one, you're trying to get him to pay your damages, That's only if you could be sure, not sure, if you could bring a raya that your damage was taka done by him. That's case number one. Case number two. Hoyu shnayim roit v'nacharechol. There were two shvarim which were chasing one. So there were two shvarim that ganged up, chasing after the shur nizik. And we know for sure that this shur was huzak from a shur. We could see the keren, we could see the brood. We know for sure it was huzak from a shur. But we don't know whose. So now zeh oimer shur chizik. Here's the two mazikim. He says it's your shur which made it. V'zeh oimer shur chizik. No, my shur didn't do anything. It's your shur that was mazik. So over here, who ends up losing? The nizik, because he can't get from either of them. So hamoiti mechaveroi alav harai. Sorry, shneim turim. They're both part of the say. But imoyu shneim shelish echod. If both of the shvarim that were running after that one shor belong to one person, so shneim chayavan. A little bit of an interesting lesson. Shneim chayavan. We would just say that he is for sure chayav. This ish echod is definitely chayav. Over here, the Mishnah says it a little bit different. Shnehem chayavim, which we're going to see in the Gemara why the Mishnah uses this lashon. So that's the case number two. So again, if it became huzak, he's not sure if it was this, if it was b'chlal huzak from a shor, or he's not sure that he can't point and say which shor was mazakim, so he can't get the money unless he can know for sure who was the mazakim or which person was mazakim. Fine. Next. He knows for sure that his shur got hurt by a shur, and he knows for sure that it was one of Shimon's two shvarim, but he doesn't know exactly which shur, which one of the two shvarim, and one was a big one, echad gadol, echad katan. So of course, what does the nizik say? The nizik wants to get more money. We know that a shur tam is meshalim only migufay, so the nizik says the big one was the one who was mazik me. Lamed hey on on the bottom. Actually, the Mishnah starts on the hey on the aleph on bottom, and we went up just now to the top line, second line. Yeah, third line. The idea is going to be and over here, so someone's sure got hurt from Shimon's two shvarim, but he doesn't know which one of Shimon's two shvarim. One was a big one and one was a little one. So of course the nizik always wants to get more money. So he's going to say that the one who was mazikim was bigger, and that way he could get more money. So hanizik oimer godol hizik, that the one that hurt Moshe was the bigger one, and the mazik says loiki, not so. Elokoton hizik. The smaller one was the one that was mazik you, and then you could only get back money megufay of the cotton. You can't get more than the cotton is worth. Or a third case, echod tam ve'echod muad. The two of Shimon's shvarim, which was chasing after the guy who in the end got hurt, one was a shor tam, and one was a shor muad. And we know for sure that this shor got hurt, but we don't know which shor it was. Was it the shor tam or was it the shor muad? If it's the shor tam, he only pays chatzin nezek, only pays migupo. If it was the shor muad, then he pays nezek shalim. So of course the nizik, right, the one who was hurt, he says, what does he say? He says muad hizek, and that way he'll get more money. He goes to the owner of these two shvarim and says, you know, your shor was mazik me, and the muad was mazik me.
Was he lying or was he holding for truth?
So we're not sure because the mazik says differently. The mazik says loiki elatam hizik. So we don't know who's lying. So we say hamotzi mechaveroi all of haraya. But your question is a very, very good question. And to get to that, we're talking about who's lying. So in order to prove that you're right, you have to you have to bring a raya. But before is he lying? What exactly is he saying? The nizik, when the nizik says your shor muad was the one who was mazik, he knows that it was the shor muad. Well, he says maybe it was the shor. He hopes that it was the shor more, and then I'm going to get more. But he doesn't. In other words, is he coming with what we call a tainas bori? That he's coming and he's saying, "I know for sure that this one was mine." Or maybe he's only coming with a tainas shema. And the same question goes for the mazik. When the mazik says, "No, it was my short time who was mazik you," is that because the mazik at least knows, or he claims he knows that it was the short time, or is it just he's saying maybe it was my only short time? So those we're going to get to the Gemara about it. So far, how would you say just from reading the Mishnah? Like just the Lashon, you know? He says, Hanizik Omer, Muad Hizik. Hamazik Omer, Loiki Alatam Hizik. It would sound like a bar, you know? He's telling him Muad. Okay, we'll
Sounds a typical business machlokas.
That each one says bari even without knowing.
You know, it's a very common problem.
So the halach is amotzi mechaveroi
Yeah.
olav arai.
Mhm.
Okay. Now it's going to come the exact same thing. We're just going to miss a match. What's going to happen is there's going to be two oxes that got hurt. One big and one small. One 100 shekel damage and one 1,000 shekel damage. And we know also that there were two shvarim from the same person who were mazik these two.
Oh, it's
But
two and two, yeah.
right, but the question is, which one was mazik? Of course, the nizik is going to say, listen, the 1,000 shekel damage was from your muad. The 100 shekel damage that paid me only 50 shekel. And then if the mazik says no, the other way around. The 100 shekel, I'll pay you the whole thing. But the 1,000 shekel, that one I'm only paying you chatzi nezek. So the same idea over here.
Mm.
Hoyu hanidzokin shnayim, the ones who were damaged were two, echad gadol ve'echad katan, one big and one small, and also v'hamazikim shnayim, echad gadol ve'echad katan. So hanizik omer gadol hizik es gadol, right? The big one is the one that was mazik and the katan one was mazik the katan, because he wants to get more money. So he's saying that his bigger damage was done on the bigger shore, and that way he could get more money. V'amazik omer loiki, not so. Ela koton es agadol, the
Right. The
my small one
what's it?
was mazik your big one, and you
He
only get
means
me gufo.
my Tom.
Even over here, we're
Isn't what
not
it
talking
means?
about tam. Here we're
You're
still
not talking
talking
about
about
size?
both with tam,
Oh, they're
but
both
one was
size.
big and one was small. By
Why
a
not
tam, the
together?
halacha is that you only get me gufo.
I see.
So we're always used to you pay chatzi nezek, but really there's another halacha, right? That he only pays as much as the shor is. So he says your $1,000 hezek was done from my shor tam. So it's true that you could get 500 shekel, but the moment my whole time is only worth 100 shekel. So
You can
take
only
it.
get on.
So that's what he's saying. He's saying el koton es agodol, v'got el es hakoton. My big one that hurt your koton, which is a smaller damage. Or the same idea again, echod tam ve'echod muad.
Right.
The mezikim, one was a tam and one was a muad. So the
Right.
nizik omer muad hizik as agodol. And again, the nizik is the one who got damaged. He wants to get more money. So he says the muad, which pays nizik shalem, that was mazik my bigger shirt. And the tam, the short tam, which pays only chatzi nezek, he was mazik my smaller shirt. And the mazik says upa, and the mazik says just the opposite. The mazik meloiki, not so. Elo tam es agodol, the tam, which only pays chatzi nezek, he was mazik the big one. So I pay you less money. The mazik's the one who has to pay. He says I pay you less money. Tam es agodol. Umur, the one that pays nezek sholem, he was mazik the cotton one. So again, hamoitzim chaveroi all over right. So there's the whole bunch of cases over here. I didn't count exactly, about 6 cases, and the klal of all of them is going to be hamoitzim chaveroi all over right. Okay. Now the Mishnah itself
So
was
really,
relatively
so the
simple.
liar, if he's a liar, the mazik is a liar. So then the nizak is miscan because he's got to prove. He's going to find proof.
Yes,
He didn't have a
again,
photograph. He
can, but
didn't move it. Yeah, maybe.
CCTV.
So the liars need to get a better handle.
Yes. But also, let's say
It could be both sides.
his
They're
thing was
lying too.
Huzak. In the first case, the mission was that someone's shore got damaged, and he isn't sure if it's from the shore or maybe it just fell down. So that's also a mutzah mechaver olav haraya.
Mm.
What's a raya? If he could prove that it was the shore that was mazikim.
Yeah.
Now, the Gemara is going to start. There's two hagdomas to the Gemara. First of all, we already mentioned that you could read the Mishnah but two ways. In other words, when he's saying your big one was mazik my big and your small the small, so everyone's saying, are these claiming to know? Are they saying a tainas bari, or are they saying a tainas shema? That's one thing that we're gonna have to talk about in the Gemara. Another thing that we want to talk about in the Gemara is there's a famous machlekes sumchus and the chachamim, or it's called momen amutal b'safik. If cholkim or momen amutal b'safik moitzim mechavel avaraya. We're gonna have to talk about what the case is. Sometimes there's something got damaged, and we really don't know if it was not even that someone comes and claims that you damaged me. And neither of them know what's going on. Um, the Gemara is going to talk about let's even say in our case, There was two animals standing next to each other. One of them got bruised, and you can't see if he fell down or the other one bruised it. And they come and they say, "You know what happened? No. Do you know what happened? No." So that's like a real moment amutal b'safik. And there's a machlokes. What's the halacha? Do you say hamuiti mechaveri olav araya that he doesn't have to pay at all because he's saying, "Listen, you can't
make a
come,
claim. You're not making a claim. I'm not.
so then I'm not paying you at all." Or
It's a little bit of a modern law that if you don't give a claim on
police
somebody, a
report.
police report on something, they don't deal with it. They don't
Right.
even go involved.
So it could be that it's a real thing. It could also be that it's just that we don't have.
It's a different thing.
There's no way to keep cheshbon of everything that happens unless you file a report, just like logistics. But okay, so that's one side. Another side would be that whenever they both come and say we don't know, okay, so split the loss. We're not sure. We come over here and there's $100 loss. I'm not sure if it just happened or if you did it. I'm not sure how it happened. So, mom, I'm with the a lot of times people do that. There's like a and in Torah, they're not sure the Torah or whatever.
You said it's
No, so there's a Tano named Sumchus, and he holds the famous shita that Mammon Amuta b'Safek, money which is in a not a dispute. A Safek is a question, a doubt. So then Yechelkim, you share the loss. They split it. Now, in our Mishnah, we see that it says Hamutu mechaveroi olav araya. The question's going to be right, it's all or nothing. The shaila is it going to be? Is it not like sumchas, or does it yes stem with sumchas?
No,
So the chura, it's not like sumchas.
Because you have to come with a pure proof, and it's no longer a subject.
It's no longer a suffix, but we would maybe be able to say that our mission is even sumchas if we say that sumchas is just when it's in doubt. When it's in doubt, then it's chilkin. But if I'm arguing with you, I say you owe me, and you say no, I don't owe you. So then there's maybe then it's by a moment I'm suffix. You come to me and you say, maybe you damaged me. And I say, I don't know what happened. So then we say Cholkim. But if I say, no, it wasn't me. So maybe then Sumchas would also agree that it's not Cholkim. So that's what the Gemara is going to try to. That's how these two, I said there's two nosim in the Gemara. One is Bari and Shema. And the other one is Maman Amud Basaf Cholkim Muhammad Chaver. And these two things come together over here. So the Gemara starts off. Omar of Chiya Baraba. Chiya Baraba says, Zoyse Meres, our Mishnah that says that it's going to be Hamotzi Mechaveri Olav we said that the Ruvain's shore got damaged, and he isn't sure. He's claiming that Shimon ox damaged him, and Shimon says, no, it wasn't mine, which we assumed would be a suffix. So we said the halacha was Hamotzi Mechaveri Olav Now, what would Sumchus hold in this case? So if Chiya Bar Abba says, Zoyse Meres, our Mishnah says, Chalukim Olav Chaveirav al Sumchus, that the Chachamim argue with Sumchus, meaning, was in the Omar that Sumchus would say, or Sumchus says, Momen Amuta B'Safek Chalkim. Sumchus says, Momen Amuta B'Safek, you would split. And our Mishnah says that when there's a dispute over the money, so then we say Amuti Mechaveir Olav Arayo. So our Mishnah says that the Chachamim, meaning our Mishnah, argues with Sumchus. So Sumchus was a Tana. And the truth is, it's interesting because in a minute we're going to have, in the beginning of the next paragraph, there's going to be a Stam Mishnah like Sumchus. But over here, he said that this is a Stam Mishnah not like Sumchus. Now, do you agree that this Mishnah Taka says not like Sumchus? So, but Pashtas, yes, right? Because our Mishnah says but we said that there's a way how to say that maybe Simchus would fit with our Mishnah. And to say that when did Simchus say Maman Mutal B'Safek Cholkim? Only when it's Mutal B'Safek, when there's a doubt, no one has any claims to it. Then it's Cholkim. But when there's a Bari, when we have a dispute over it, maybe Simchus agrees. So if he says that our Mishnah is a Raya that Chalukin Olav Chaver of Al Simchus, so he holds that Sumchus would hold even in the case of our Mishnah that it's Cholkim. Which means that even in the case of our Mishnah where you have Bari and a Bari, that's the case of the Mishnah, Sumchus should hold Cholkim. Because if not, you wouldn't see that our Mishnah argues on Sumchus. And our Mishnah says, And if he says that our Mishnah is not like Sumchus, that means that Sumchus would hold even in the case of our Mishnah that it's Cholkim. And if our Mishnah is a case of Bori Bori, so that means that Rabbi Chia Bar Abba assumed that Sumchus would hold Cholkim even in the case of our Mishnah. Amalei Rab Abba Bar Mama Rab Chia Abba. You talk to see that our Mishnah is not like Sumchus. Omar Sumchus Afilu Bori Bori. Did Sumchus say his halacha that moment Amuta B'Safek Cholkim even in a case when there's a dispute, when he's saying, I don't owe you the money at all?
It's only Besdin stuff here.
Right.
It's Besdin stuff. It's not.
That's Mammon. You're saying that would be the words of Mammon Amut B'Safek that Bezdin doesn't know what it is. Uh-huh. Very good. Race to become not Mammon B'Safek. So Bori is Bezdin Safek. But the Maisa, I'm saying that I don't owe you money. And he says, Amalei'in, Omar Sumchas Hafil Bori, that Sumchas that holds Mammon Amut B'Safek Cholkim holds even when the claiming is a bari, as long as Bezdin, very good. As long as Bezdin is B'Safek, so that's enough to make it Cholk. And that's how we saw that our Mishnah is not like Sumchas. Why do you say that our Mishnah is talking about a bari? Maybe say that what? That our Mishnah is talking Shema and Shema. And then you would see that it's clearly with Sumchas by Shema or Shema. Maybe bari, Sumchas would agree. The Ketani, how do you know that? In other words, who was this over here? Rab Abba Bar Mamo assumed that our Mishnah is talking that they were arguing with the Bari. The Ketani, that's the lashon of the Mishnah. Zeh oimer shorcha hizik. The hizik says your shor was mazik me. V'zeh oimer loiki, not so. So the lashon of the Mishnah is shorcha hizik, and this one says not so. So you see, the lashon of the Mishnah is that it's Tainas Bori, that he's actually being Tovei. I know that your shor was mazik me, and this one saying no, it wasn't my shor who was mazik you. It got Huzak by itself. So our Mishnah is talking a Bari Ubari. And now the Gemara is going to take the Mishnah and try to prove from the Mishnah that it's not talking a Bari Ubari. And I think the Gemara is going to be Matzliach. That even though the Lashon of the Mishnah would sound that they're arguing with a Bari Ubari, but from the Cheshbon of that the Gemara is going to make, we're going to prove that it's not a Bari Ubari. Naskifla Rav Papa. Rav Papa is going to try to prove that this Mishnah is not Bari Ubari. Because he says, if the Reisha is talking about Bari Ubari, right in the Reisha, we said, and he said, that was Bari Ubari. So Seifa Nami, Bari Ubari. The Seifa is all the cases that he said, hey, it was your two Shvarim belonged to one person. And the Nizik was claiming your bigger share was Mazik me, right? Share number one. And the Mazik said, no, my share number one didn't do it, my share number two did it, my smaller share. Now, if this would also be Bari Ubari, then there's going to be a little issue. What's the issue? Again, so Papa says, if the ratio is talking Bari Ubari, so the Sefer should also be talking Bari Ubari. And what does the Sefer say? Echad Godol ve'echad Koton. Mr. Shimon on two shvarim, one big and one small. Nizik oime Godol Nizik. The Nizik claims that the bigger one is the one that was Maziket. Umazik oime loiki ela Koton Nizik. The Mazik says it wasn't my big shor, it was my little shor that was Mazik. Or another similar case the Mishnah says. If the Mazik has two oxes, one's a tam and one's a muad. Echad tam, echad muad. Nizik oimer muad hizik, right? Because he wants to get more money, so he says your sure muad was mazik me, and you have to pay nizik sholem. Mazik oimer loiki ela tam hizik. So the Mishnah said, "Amoytu mechaverei olav harayim." That in order for the nizuk to get from the shor hagadol or from the shor hamur, he would have to bring a raya that it was actually that shor that was mazikim. And until he brings a raya, what happens? Or the Gemara Taka assumes that way, and I think it stays. If he can't prove that it was the bigger one who was mazikim, shokol kidikama mazik. He would take it from the smaller shor. Again, the mazik has two shvarim, axe A and axe B, and the mazik says axe A, which is bigger. I'm sorry, the nizik says axe A, which is bigger, was mazik me, and the mazik says no, axe B was mazik you. So if he can't prove that it was ox number A, which is the bigger one, was mazikim, so he gets from ox B. And now this is a problem because ox B, if we're talking about a time as bari, so when I came, Mr. Nizik came and said that you were mazik me. So who was mazik me? I'm saying ox A was mazik me. And the mazik says, no, ox B. So he says, no, ox B didn't do anything. It was ox A that did it. So I just now forfeited my schos to take from ox number B. Because I said ox B didn't do anything. It was ox A that did it. So how come the Mishnah says that if I can't prove that ox A did it, I could take from ox B? I forfeited it also my schus and ox B.
From Bori.
If it's bari. If I say I don't know, so then I didn't say the head it wasn't ox number B. But if I say for sure no, it was ox A, it wasn't ox number B. So name it heavy to yufta the Rabbi Bar Nosan. If it says over here that you could be goiva from ox B, so that's a kash on Rabbi Bar Nosan. The Omar toya noichitim v'hoidoloi b'soyrim potter. Someone goes to someone else and he says, I gave you a pekodon, something which is worth a lot of money, chitin. And he says, no, you didn't give me chitin, you gave me something else, which is worth less money, soirim. So if you can't prove that he gave him the chitin, you would say that what? That he gives him at least this soirim. But he says, no, you're totally potter. Why? Because you're claiming that you gave him chitin. You can't prove that you gave him chitin. He's saying that he owes you soirim, but you're saying that he does not owe you soirim. Because you're saying you only gave him chitim, I didn't give you soirim. So then the Maisa, he doesn't have to give you anything. So the same thing should be in this Mishnah, right? I'm saying that the big one was, the Nizik says the big one was Mazik. The small one, no, the small one didn't do anything. So you just fulfill to take from the small one. So if our Mishnah is talking, the Tainas Bori, that I know for sure what happened, so then the Chayr doesn't stem with the halacha of Tani Chitim, Bohidalei B'Soirim, Potter. Elo. You're going to have to say that our Mishnah, the Sefer at least is talking, the Bari Veshema, that he does not have it's clear that the Bari Veshema means, could it also have been Shema Veshema? One second. Could have been Shema Veshema also, maybe. Why doesn't the one want to say Shema Veshema? I think Tosis asked this. You could say because the Lashon. Reminds me the Gemara is still a little bit stuck to the Lashon that he says Loiki Elavasel Allah. So the Gemara does want to keep that. Loiki is still a Lashon, but I think we're still keeping with that. The Yuka. No.
The Loki makes it
Is a Bori. But the Gemara is saying that Enchalami, he's answering Bori, but the Tviyah is not Bori. In other words, so Mela, I didn't forfeit taking Bechal from the smaller share, because when I came, I said, I think it's number, but I wasn't sure that it's not number B.
So right now we're using Loki as a Bori as opposed to the Toyan, which is
Right, with the Tviyah, which is going to be a Shema.
And then we're going
We're going
to
to switch it. And the Gemara is not even so short, because the Gemara starts with the Ka'ama Bori man. The Ka'ama Shema man. Who said Bori? Who said Shema? Name the common nizik bari. So you would say it can't be because then you have to say the common mazik shema. So you would say, or I would say, the lashon loiki wouldn't stem, but the Gemara doesn't go to the lashon. The Gemara just says the cheshbon doesn't stem because if the tviyah is bari, then he forfeited taking from the smaller shirt because he said, "I know for sure it was the bigger shirt." So even if just the tviyah is bari, that's already a problem because that would be turning so you have this akati lemeteviti of the Rabba Bar Nosan. Elo, it has to be that the tviya, meaning the nizik, was a shema. So the nizik said, "I think your bigger share was mazik. I'm not sure." And the mazik says, "No, it wasn't my bigger share. It was my smaller share." And then he won't have to pay as much as the bigger share because I'm but he will have to pay according to the smaller share, and he can't say, "Hey, you fulfilled the smaller share," because I never said I know for sure that's not the smaller share. So that's going to be the case of the Mishnah. The Kama Nizik Shema, Kama Mazik Bori, Adkan. And now it says, so Rav Papa was starting up over here. Rav Papa was just trying to prove that the ratio of the Mishnah, the safe of the Mishnah, is talking a Bori Vishema, not a Bori Ubori. Once I know that the Sefer is talking not a Bari Ubari, a Bari Veshema, so now I'm going to go back to the Reisha and say that that's also Bari Veshema. And here we got a little stuck with the symbols. As opposed to, no, the Gemara now is going, I think, as opposed to Bari and Bari, The Gemara starts off that it was Bari Ubari. And that's what the Gemara says, oh, so I see from this that Sumchas holds even by Bari Ubari, And you're saying that Chaluk and Alav Chavera. Now the Gemara is saying no, it's not Bari Ubari. I'll show you that it's Bari V'Shema, a certain Bari V'Shema. And once I have that the safe is Bari V'Shema, I'm going to go back to the ratio and say that's also Bari V'Shema. Right? And now when we say Chaluk and Alav Chavera Vasumchas, it's only the case of Bari and Shema. And it could be that by Bari Ubari, maybe Sumchas will agree. We don't know for sure, or at least we can't see from here, that Sumchas holds even by Bari Ubari it's Chaluk. Because if the Mishnah is talking Bari V'Shema, and that's when we say Chaluk and Olav Chaverov, so it could be that Chaluk and Olav Chaverov only by this Bari V'Shema, but by Bari not. Right? So let's see. Ela de Kama Nizik Shema, Kama Mazik Bari. Omi de say for Nizik Shema, Mazik Bari, Reisho Nami Nizik Shema. He says, I think you're sure it was Mazik. Or Mazik Bari. Nizik Shema, Umazik Bari. One second. Ela de Kama Nizik Shema, Kama Mazik Bari. Maybe they say for Nizik Shema, Mazik Bari. Ratio, I mean Nizik Shema, Mazik Bari. What would be the case in the ratio of Nizik Bari, Nizik Shema? That I say, I think it was your shirt that was Mazik me, but maybe it also got hit in the cellar. And you say, no, I know for sure that it was the cellar locker. And we say, Amutim Chavero Yalavarayah. So the Gemara says, why do we even need a Mishnah to tell me in such a case? With Sumchas hold that even this case is considered a suffix. The moment I'm to a suffix, Cholkim says the Gemara now is assuming that the reason why we need to call this Mishnah is to tell me it's not stam chalukun olav chaveir al Sumchas. That's why we need the Mishnah to tell us not like Sumchas. And in the case that Sumchas would also agree that I'm with chaveir al then I wouldn't even need the Mishnah to tell me I'm with chaveir al. So if the Mishnah tells it to me, it's because Sumchus would hold in whatever case the Mishnah is talking about. Sumchus would hold in that case that it's Choylkin. So the Gemara now proved that it's Bari V'Shema. And the Gemara says if the Reish is also talking Bari V'Shema, that he was Tovea Shema. The guy answering back is a Bari. So Sumchus would hold in that case. Of course, Sumchus would also hold. So now we're getting stuck. So what does the Mishnah have to say? Let me just say for Nizik Shem Mazik Bori. Rishon Nami Nizik Shem Mazik Bori. V'Oma Sumchas Afilu B'Ha. The Yitzchak Lashmin and the Loi. It's in other words saying Pshita. Even Sumchas agrees to this. But the Gemara says no. Seifa is a Bori and a Shema, but which way? That the Nizik is a Shema, the Tviya is a Shema, and the Mazik is a Bori. Since the Tviya is a Shema, so you didn't put the small one, and the Mazik is a Bori. A Reisha is also going to be Bori V'Shema, but the other way around. Reisha is talking that the Nizik is a Bori, or Mazik Shema, meaning the Nizik is the one who got hurt. He says, I know for sure your shur was Mazik me. And the Mazik says it could be was my shur, but it could also be that not. Prove to me that it was your shur. And our mission is going to hold that it's a huge chiddush, that even in that case, that's the case of the Mishnah. And I tell you, I know for sure it was your shur that was mazik me. And you say, I don't know, maybe it was talking my shur, but maybe not. And still we're going to say that you do not have to pay. It's a very thing, it's a big chiddush. That you don't have to pay until you bring your raya. That what? Even if you don't know that you're potter. You're saying, I'm not sure that I'm potter, but you have to prove it that I'm this. So Reisha is talking Nizik was Bari, that means the Tovea, the Nizik is Bari, and the Mazik is Shema. And still you say Amutu Chaver al Varaya, and Sumchus would hold by this moment Amutu B'Safek Chol. That makes sense. As Gemara says, but the Gemara said the Bari and the Yitaka made that the Reisha was Bari and Shema, and the Seif was Bari and Shema. But you switch, who's the Bari and who's the Shema? That's considered the same case. Damya Reisha the Seifa. Because you switched over who was the Bari and who was the Shema. Well, says that's not a problem. That's still considered the same case. Amri, Bari v'Shema, Shemo Bari, Chad Milsihi. That's considered still the same case. But to say that the Reisha is Bari Ubari and the Seifa is Shemo Bari, that's Trey Milininu. So that we didn't want to do. To say that the Reisha was Bari and Bari and the Seifa is Shemo Bari. But we are asking to say that the Reisha, the Tviya was a Bari and the answer was Shema, and the Sefer, the Tviyah was a Shema, and the answer is a body. So Adkan, so now we have the Mishnah. So Be'etzim, the reading of the Mishnah, whenever the Tovea comes, he's Be'etzim always a bari. But in the whole Sefer, we're going to have to say that he's a Shema, because if he would be a bari, then he wouldn't get even the lesser one, because you say that you don't get it. So it's a little bit harder, the reading in the Mishnah. Like the simple reading in the Mishnah would be better with bari or bari, but that's what the Gemara says, because it shouldn't be Toya Nebechit and Vahidul B'Sayim. Okay. The Gemara is going to get back to this, though, I think. But first, the Gemara, the item thing that we brought over here, Toya Nebechit and Vahidul B'Sayim, the Gemara brought a memra of Ha'amoira, Rabba Bar Nasan. So it's also a Mishnah. Gufa. Amar Rabba Bar Nasan, Rabba Bar Nasan says, Toya Nebechit, and if he was Tovea for him, Chitim, and he admitted that he doesn't. He said, "I don't owe you chitim. What I do owe you, I owe you something else. I owe you soirim." So he's potter. He's totally potter. Michael Mashmalom. Why does Rabbi Bar Nosson have to tell it to us? It's a mafurish mishnah. Tanina mamish the exact same words in Bava Metzia. Toya nechitim. He was tovea him chitim. Behold the soirim potter. So Gemara says, no, you needed the Amora also to say it, because imi hasam. If it would only be a mishnah, I would have said havamina potter midmei chitim. But v'chayav ben meisorim. I tell you, I gave you to hold something very expensive, chitim. You say, no, you just gave me soirim. The Mishnah says you're potter. So you would think you know what you're potter from the tviyah. I'm saying that you gave me chitim, that you don't have to give. But the soirim, you do have to give me. So that's why he says again, Kamash Malon, even though he says the exact same words, he also just says potter. But technically, it's the same words, but everyone knows that there's already a Mishnah.
Everyone knows the Mishnahs.
And if the Amora says it, he must be adding. Okay, it's I call Kavod. Anyhow, Kamash Malon the Potter, the Gamri. He's Potter even from the money of the Soirim, not only from the money of the Chitim. Okay, that was sort of like in brackets. And now we're going back to the case of the Mishnah. Now, yeah, to nine. Now we're going to the third case. Where we said that two animals got damaged, one big one and one small one. And the guy is being Tovea saying the big one, oh, probably your muad was mazik me. The little one is the tam. And the mazik is saying, no, the other way around. The big one was nizik from the tam. The little one from the muad. Tanan. Hoyo hanizoikin shnayim, echad gadol ve'echad katan, v'chulei. So it says that what? That hamoitzim mechaveiroi olah haraya. That again, he has to prove in order to be able to get the more. If he doesn't prove us the halacha, he gets the less. So here, again, it's going to be that it was a tainas shema. Because if he was tovea, he said, I know for sure it wasn't your tam. I know it was your muad which was mazik me. So then he forfeits to get anything from the tam. Haloi ma'isi raya shokol k'dekam ar mazik. Amai, again, chitunu tza'urim nino. So over here we could also say that it was a Tainas Shema. Why doesn't the Gemara want to say that it's a Tainas Shema? So Rashi over here up on top says, the Imkein Hainu Hach. It wouldn't be more of a Chiddush. Again, we finally figured out a place in the Mishnah that it should fit. Now the Gemara says, yeah, but you already told me that once. So why do you have to tell me twice the same case or the same Yesod? So now the Gemara doesn't like this, even though we did find, like a Glata Mahalach, a way that it should fit. But now it's Hainu Hach. And that's why the Gemara wants to make that this case is Taka talking that it was a Tviyah of a Bori. And still he should get the lesser one. So the Gemara says, why does he get the lesser one? If his Tviyah was a Bori, that means what does he say? I know that Shor A was Mazik me. No, not Shor B. Well, it's for sure Shor A. So how come it says that he gets like Shor number B? So the Gemara is going to make over here a Drei. That over here he really doesn't get from Shor B. He could have got them from Shor B, but he forfeited it. It says, Hamotim Chaveri Olav Araya. It's mashma that he gets, if he doesn't bring a raya, he gets the lesser one. It says, Roi litoil ve'ein loi.
Your deal is not a true deal.
Well, it's very interesting, because one can say Roi litoil ve'ein loi, so you can say that in the ratio. So it's going to be two cases which are the same. So you're going to say that over there it's talking a different case. So basically, the Mishnah says two kamat identical cases, and in order that it shouldn't be the same thing, we're going to say one is talking by Tainas Shema, and one is talking Tainas bari. And it's amazing, like what the Gemara expects us to understand when we learn the Mishnayos, that we're going to chapa ourselves that it can't be that the Mishnah is teaching us twice the same thing. So it must be that one's different, and it says two different kedushim, and really also two different halachos. Because one halacha is that hamotzi mechaver olav araya, and if you don't bring the raya, you get the lesser one. The second one, hamotzi mechaver olav araya, and you don't get anything because you fulfilled it. So, and we're supposed to understand this, that it's two cases and two halachas, because it can't be saying the same thing twice. Like, I don't know why the Gemara expects so much from us. But, yeah. V'atanya, where am I? Haloi ma'isirayim, roi little vein lo. He's supposed to get, but he talked doesn't because he said it wasn't there. I says, what do you mean? But it says in the Brisa that you get the lesser one. V'atanya, it says in the Brisa, Hari zeh, in our case, mishtalim al hakoton, min hagodol. That's for the smaller one. He gets for like the Mazik says, ula godol min hakoton, that he gets the lesser amount. So what are you telling me that it's only royally told that he didn't get? So the Gemara says the tofas. If he ended up taking
the Brisa
again the brisa that says that you get the lesser amount, that's by the tofas. Again, tofas does not help that you should get the more amount. I think. It only helps that we thought that you even forfeited the lesser amount. That you do get. You get the lesser amount if you were tafas.
Tafas shows that he was not Michael.
That's the shot.
Maybe. Maybe.
But you said, but what do you mean? But when in the beginning when we were talking about what happened, you told me no, it wasn't sure B, it was sure A.
Okay. One of the titles of
Rashi says that it's a chuli achli.
right.
So
And maybe
tafas
Tafas
shows
means
that
that
it's
he
not
was-
moichel.
Maybe.
Maybe I hear interesting. I'm just thinking also when we say Amotim Chaver Olav Araya, let's say I was Toifis. So now now you're the Moiti.
Right.
Do you say that or not? So then over here, what does it say? It says Amotim Chaver, you get the lesser amount, and it's talking that he was Toifis. And the truth would be that if it would be Toifis more, he would have gotten even the more amount. That's a huge kiddush, right? Maybe. Should call an easy, but Tafas Asher. I'm not sure. I don't know. That would be a big chiddush. Or maybe. So I'll check about Ram's notes. I really understand. Okay, but the Gemara says the Tafas. So if he's Tafas, then he does get. So yeah, the second one, zero something like that.
Maybe I'll be talking.
Over here it's talking Tafas Kotan. What's going to happen if it's Tafas the Godol? He's going to get it. One minute. Roy little, I actually am. Im kwa Tafas is a Kotan, im Yitzim biyodai. So, Tafas helps, and this he brings away from the Rambam that even though you said that you have nothing from the cotton. What do you mean now you were Tafas the cotton? You said that it wasn't the cotton. Still the Tafas help. I'm not sure why, but that's so you're saying maybe the Tafas itself is showing that you were a Michael. That could be. That could be. But okay, that's what the Gemara says.
That's why it's a Brisa, it's not a mission. Maybe.
Correct. It's a brisa. In other words, also it's not the Gemara just saying it on its own. The brisa says that you get because it doesn't say tafas, but it says in a certain case, now in the brisa itself, I would be able to say that it's talking about Shema and a Bari. But we know that that's not true because then it would be the same as the case before, and it's Hainuhach. So Al Kochach, even not a Shema and a Bari, still there's some kind of case that you can get from the lesser one. What case? When it's tafas. Okay. Tanan, the Mishnah, we said the Mishnah has a whole bunch of cases. Now, each case we're going to have to figure out what's going on. Tanan, hoya echad tam ve'echad muad, the mezikim, one was a tam and one was a muad. Hanizik oimer, the one who got damaged, he wants to get more money, right? So he says the muad, which pays nezik shalem, he was hizik as hagodol. So for the $1,000 shor damage, that one I want full damage. The tam es hakoton. V'hamazik omer loiki, not that way, but the other way. Elo tam es hagodol. The tam, the one that only pays chatin is like he's the guy who did the big damage of $1,000. I'm only paying you 500 for that one. The muad that pays nezek shalem, yeah, that was the little damage. That was a sakotan. So he said over here also, Hamutim Chaveroi Olav Haraya. Okay, and now again, Haloi Maisi Rayo. If he can't prove it, so at least he gets the lower amount, right? Shokol could come a mazik. And here we have again the same kasha. V'amai chitun usoyrim ninu. Chitun usoyrim ninu, same kasha like before, but you said it wasn't that short. And then what I was going to say, Roy little ve'ein loi. Roy, he could get it, like we said before. So why is this not a problem of Hainu Hach? I'm not sure. But again, the Gemara says, Roy little ve'ein.
You don't ask the price question like that.
And again, but the Bryce says that you do get. But Tanya Ariza Mishtalim, Lakotan min Amud, Velagodl min Acham, that you do get other things. And again, it's really cool talking the Tofas. So basically the same as before.
But on price, you don't ask that.
Why? Why it says twice?
You can ask that on the mission. You can't ask. Maybe.
But the Mishnah also has both cases. The Bryce it doesn't say. The Bryce is what says that he's Mishtalim. But the Etzem Allah of Amitim Chaveri Al Varaya, that was even a Mishnah. Correct? So it's going to be a little odd. So what happens is that you always say Amitim Chaveri Al Varaya, and be'etzem you forfeit even the smaller one. Because you said that it wasn't the smaller one. The only way you're going to get from the smaller one is a few things. Either if your toif is the smaller one, or if you only came in the beginning with the tainas shema, you didn't come with the tainas bari, so then you didn't forfeit it. Or stuck only roy little and you don't get. Okay. It's a mission that like seems simple when you read it, like it may even make sense. And then there's like a lot of things to be read in between the lines. Okay. That was that. Now we're gonna go a little bit one more nakuda in the Mishnah. We said that again, when there's two mazikin and both of them belong to one person, so then you can for sure get, because you say, hey Shimon, listen, I don't know exactly which shor it is, but you for sure owe me money. And the Gemara is going to say that's very good when it's a shor muad, because by a shor muad, who owes the money? If you have mazik, Mr. Mazik owes money because made of a thing, but he's supposed to pay min ha'aliyah. But when it's a short time, so of course your tvia is to Mr. Mazik, but it's not that Mr. Mazik has to take money out of his pocket and pay you. That you have a certain lien on the short. But now, if you don't know which short to take, so you can't take this short because maybe it's that one, you can't take that one because maybe it's this one. So maybe by a short time, there should also be a taina that you can't take my short.
Yeah, I think
Amale Rava mi Parzik. I'm sorry, it's going on the Mishnah. It's going on the Mishnah. But it says Hoyu Shneim Shalish Echad, if both of the Shvarim, which were Mazik, belong to the same person. So then Shneim Chayavim, which we said means the Bailam, or between the two of them, they for sure have to pay. So Amale Rava mi Parzik Ravashi Shmami no Shvarim Tamim Shehiziku. Two short tams were mazik. We don't know which one. So he could take from either one because I know for sure that you, Mr. Shimon, you owe me money from your short tams. Rata mizeh goiva, rata mizeh goiva. I could take either this short tam or that short tam. That's what it would sound like, right? Because he's taking between the two. And of course that can't be because by a short tam, you can't just take my other short tam. There's a halacha of mikufo that you could only take the short time that was mazik. You can't come and take my other short time. So how come over here in the Mishnah it says, but that he's higher from both? It wouldn't work. So the Gemara says, the Mishnah is not talking about a short time. If it will be a short time, they only take mikufo, so you can't take the short because maybe it was the other short. Over here it's talking a short muad, and by a short muad he has to pay. But even muadim im seifa. It says echad gadol ve'echad katan. Hanizik oimed gadol hizik v'hamazik oimed loiki ala katan hizik. We said, what's the difference if it's gadol? Who cares if it was gadol hizik or katan hizik? Because he's gonna pay migufo, right? It only makes a difference if it's for a short time. If it's a short more, then you have to pay the money. So then there's no Allah migufo, so it doesn't make a difference. So the whole dispute in the Sefer the Mishnah tells us that they were both short times. You can't say it about a short more, right? And you only get less. That's a quote from the Mishnah. And What difference does it make if it's a short time or a short muad? So if so, made Torah ma'aliyah by he has to pay him whatever the hezek was. Doesn't make a difference how big the mazik was. They seifa betamim. The seifa, of course, has to be talking betamim, but the ratio is going to be bemuadim, because if not, you wouldn't be able to say shneim chayavim, which of course is a doichak. The ratio bemuadim. Amalei Rav Achas Sava Rav Ashi. If the ratio says it's taka talking muadim, so what kind of lashon is this? Shnehem chayavim. The person's chayav to pay. Chayav gavra mi boyele. A muad is not. You don't take anything from the shore. You take it from the mazik. So it has nothing to do with the fact that there's two shvarim over here. It has to do that we know who the one mazik is. So chayav gavra mi boyele. Vesu my shneim. It's the same kasha. What's the name of the thing? It should say that we're taking from the mazik. So going back that it really is tamim. So if it's tamim, so then the you have a problem. Why? Because if it's tamim, how could he take both between the two of them? Only one was mazik, and you only take migupoy. The Rabbi Akivi, the Omar shut. We had a machlokas of Bishmal and Akiva. After the short time is mazik, do we automatically say that the nizik, the guy who got damaged, has like a lien, or he gets a certain shutfus, he gets a certain tfisa on the short time, or not? Bishmal says he just has to pay money, and you could be goyva at migufay. But Akiva says that shutfim that you get a certain lien. So how come according to Akiva it's better? And I say I don't know which lien it's on, if it's on short A or short B. Rashi says. Akiva the Omar shutfim ninu beguf shel shor hilkoch ova da shor ova niskre, right? Kihavu shneim. Shneim doesn't mean that you chayav between the two. Shneim means you could get your hezek as long as they're both around. If they're both around, then we say that you could force the guy to pay you the lesser of the amounts. But shneim means to say, is it short time or short more? It was almost a short time. Right, but a short muad, everyone would agree that you just get money.
Now he's a shooter.
I'm still not getting it. Right, but he doesn't know which one.
Okay.
But if he's a shooter, he gets for sure. And if I could be toveya from the gufoy, so you're saying then you can't get because you don't know which one you're being toveya from. But if I'm already for sure a shooter, then at least I'm a shooter from one of these animals. And but the time of this now that both of the animals are around, let's say one of the shvarim got lost. So you could say that was Yoshua, the one that got lost. The high Torah, the one that's here around now, is Koch, is the one that was mazik for you. And then I'll pay you. But until you bring a right that this was, then even according to Rav that you became a shutta from the shore, still you have to have that both be around. So again, in order that for this halacha to be shneim chayavim, only if Shneim is around, and only Rabbi Akiva. If it wouldn't be Rabbi Akiva, you wouldn't get. So only according to Rabbi Akiva, and only that they're both around. So that's the halacha of Shneim chayavim, right? That's all reading in. And why do we have to say that they were tamim? Because soon it's going to say that there was a nafkamina if it's the godol and the cotton, and that's only a nafkamina if it's a tam. So nice. We start with the Mishnah saying that it's very clear that one big halacha, and it sounded like 5 cases of very similar cases and all true. But the Maisa it ends up being quite complicated with the whole Shema and Shem. I think the next Mishnah is either going to be like Sumchas. Continue the Mishnah? No, it's complicated. You told me before. But the halacha is not like Sumchas. The halacha is like the Chachamim, that hamutim chaveri olav raya, even on moment of b'safik, and it's going to be even the cases like what you said, that again, I'm tovea you bari. I say I know for sure that you owe me money, and you say I don't know for sure, but I don't have to pay you until you prove to me that you owe me the money. So that's going to be the halacha. Okay, so that was the end of the parak. That's so we'll go over there today. We'll finish. The next mission is a little bit more complicated. בסדר מחר.
Yasher koach, man.
Okay.
I was just overtired. It was a good show, I was just overtired.
איך עושים את זה פה? Pause the recording.
שכוייח.
Thank you.